How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So this is the first video I'm making since my return back from Jamaica earlier this week. So you've probably seen my short from a few weeks ago where I said there is a challenge of uploading on YouTube once a week for an entire year. So this is the first one out of that. But today I've decided to do a what's in my camera bag video. This is really the direction I wanted my channel to go in, of more photography stuff, videography stuff, and like just stuff based around film and just producing work and just having a productive YouTube channel that is more structured and focused around photography instead of just vlogs and activities and whatnot. So let me just mention a couple of things about myself first that will help explain why I have some of the things that I have. So I am a 23-year-old photographer and videographer. So I don't have strictly video gear. I don't have strictly photography gear. I have different parts of each. In my time as a photographer in the past year, the main thing that I've been working on is photo shoots, so mainly model posing, and then also weddings and also sports. So those three things have really been my main makeup of my professional work in the past year. So to start off, I've just moved the camera out so that there's more space so that I can get both of these bags on the screen, because first thing I'm going to look at is the camera bags that I actually own. So bag number one is the Lowepro ProTactic BP 450 AW version 2. It's a very heavy bag. It's got barely anything in it and it's already quite a lot to hold. And yeah, it kind of looks like a jetpack. It's very big, but it holds a lot of stuff, which is good. I personally like to use this bag for when I've got any shoots that require me to use all my lenses, or if I'm going to need a gimbal. In here, it's just these different pouches and sections that I have for the bag. I actually took this bag to Jamaica with me. It also has a little laptop section in this part. It's very secure as it opens from the back, so you can keep all the valuable things at the bottom. Convenient, you want something to be, you can open things up in the top. But the second bag that I use and I have is the Lowepro Tejo BP 150. It's a much smaller bag. It has a much more light frame. It opens from the front, unlike the ProTactic, and it has pouches in the front again. So it's only really got space for one camera. The bag's not very deep either. This bag isn't great when it comes to doing quite big events, but it's also a very nice bag for just more casual photography and for just having it as a backpack at all. It's also got pouches in the side for things like gimbal work, or if I am doing a full day of sports photography. This is not really the bag I want to be taking around. I'll take the other one, but this is more for like if I was to be vlogging, or if I was only using the my phone just as a casual bag. It's much nicer. It doesn't look very suspicious. Both have benefits, but I tend to prefer the ProTactic. It's just much nicer to fit all my gear into, and it just is much more secure, and I prefer using it because I can just get a lot more stuff in it as well. So the camera angle has changed, camera quality, whatever, it's changed because I've switched to my phone to film, just so that I can show you guys this. So this is the camera of choice that I have. This is the Canon EOS R. This is the smallest build that the camera can be. It's just a very small mirrorless camera body. Nothing too special to say about it. I've had it for just over a year. This is the camera I take to all my photo shoots. Shoots 30 megapixels, very good image quality, high resolution camera. Video, on the other hand, you know, it needs some work. I mean, I'd upgrade for that reason, since it only does things like 120 FPS, 720p, no autofocus, the fact that 4K crops in. Basically, this camera does everything I need it to do. For non-professionals, I would highly recommend a camera like this. I love using this camera and I don't see myself getting rid of it anytime soon. Canon have changed the lens mount to the RF mount. So this adapter means that I can use my old lenses with this newer camera. Snap it onto the top, just like that. And then I can adapt any of my lenses. The one I'll be using for this video is 24-70 f2.8 EF version 2. And this lens is great for many reasons. It's got a lot of range. This is the lens that mainly stays on my camera. For video work as well, this lens is perfect, does everything it needs to. And then I'll switch back to this setup as well for the remainder of this video. So just switch that around quickly. So next piece of gear that I've got after my camera is this. This is my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I use this as my secondary camera for primarily video. It does it does great. I use this primarily for my vlogging time in Jamaica. I didn't really use my camera to shoot much video because, you know, being in a foreign country and, you know, being in very touristy areas, I didn't really want to chance it. So taking photos I prefer with my DSLR, with my mirrorless camera. But for everything else, video wise, and, you know, just taking things more casually, the phone is perfect. Honestly, I really think that this is a great thing that I have that is really a tool that I did not expect it to really be. And I'm going to be making plenty of videos about how I think that this could even replace most other cameras when it comes to photography and video. But as a camera phone, sometimes will get used more than my mirrorless camera will, my Canon EOS R. It's just the way it is sometimes. You know, it's still something I really enjoyed using. It's a lot of fun and it's not that much of a hassle all the time because it's gonna work. It's my phone. I use it every day, so it's something I'm much more used to. It makes the process very simple. It doesn't produce the most professional results. It's still better than nothing. It can fit in smaller places. It can be held up a lot easier. On the back of here, there's a little magnet, so I will just quickly demonstrate the reason why I have that on there. So it's for the next device that I have. This is the DJI Osmo version 6. So this is just a camera stabilizer that is designed for the iPhone. It's very, very nice to use, very smooth. But yeah, like I said, this is what I use for my trip to Jamaica more than anything else because it's got very good battery life because it's my phone, etc. Like all these things, it's really good. And this is just such a smaller and lighter package than the other gimbal I have. Usually this comes in my camera bag all the time just because I never know when I want to use it. And for vlogging, I might want to capture some B-roll. So using this is much smoother. And yeah, it's a very good investment that I made. And I'm very happy that I've got this. It also extends out, which is pretty cool. So I can get much wider variety of shots. I can go much lower when I shoot, etc. It's just a very, very, very nice piece of equipment that I've got, and I love using it. I also have two lenses that I use with a camera as well. So now I've replaced it. I can actually show these. So this is my personal favorite lens that I've ever bought and ever used. This is the 85mm 1.2. It's a very, very, very heavy and expensive lens, and it how do I put it? It's a dream lens. It's got a very wide element for a lens that's quite bulky and quite small, but it's a very good lens. Like, I really think that this lens produces my best photos. They're the sharpest photos I've ever taken, and they provide the best looking depth of field that I've ever seen. It's a great lens. It's very heavy though. That's the only problem I probably have with it. But it's a lens that I very much enjoy using and have always felt as if like this has to come with me. The second lens though, well, technically the third lens if you include the 24-70 that's recording right now. This is the 70-200 lens, which is the lens I mainly use for sports photography and weddings and for, well, again, anything. It's a very good telephoto lens, and I love using this lens because it's just got such a good range. And yeah, for sports, it's very good. It's probably the oldest lens I do have because this is the version 1 of this lens. It's just a bit chunky. That's the only thing. It's a very big lens, a very tall lens. And that to me can be quite a frustration, especially when I'm trying to, you know, like cut down space in my camera bag. This will be the first lens to go. Like, as a casual lens, it's not a lens that I really use or will really bother to take unless I think there's an odd chance I might use it, so I take it. But other than that, so for example, in Jamaica, I didn't use it. There were times where I wish I did have it, but just for the simple fact of it not being as much of a pain on my back, I was fine with not taking it. The next one I have is the DJI Ronin 2, or Ronin S2 Pro, which is, again, a piece of equipment that I'm so happy that I bought. This has been one of my favorite pieces of equipment to use, especially on the recent projects I've made, like the volleyball video I recorded, or the cheer video that has just been released like in the past week. So you've probably been able to see that I have a lot of gear by the company DJI, and I can tell you quite right now that this will not be the last piece of DJI gear that I get because their products are amazing. And there's, well, drones are another one. This won't appear in my what's in my bag video because I don't keep it in my bag ever since it crashed a year ago. Talk about mics. So these mics are not quite the same as this mic I've got here. This is a, stationary mic that is more for podcasting. These are more like, just wireless mics for on the go stuff. So the next important thing to me that I personally really like to use is music. So I have multiple different forms of music here, or music devices. But that then includes headphones. So these are the Sony XM5s. These are very, very good headphones that I love using. They're very comfortable. You've probably seen me wearing them in the Great Expectations video that I started working on, and in other videos as well. My first video, I know I used these too. I also have Apple AirPods Pros. I don't even really know what to say about these. I have these because of the convenience and just because, they're decent. And if I don't want to mess my hair up, these are very good to have. I enjoy using these just because, they're fun to use, and you can just keep one in, like whilst we're playing sports, etc. Not really affecting too much. They're quite good to use. I tend to use these a lot when I'm like doing sports photography or videography, because it looks a lot more discreet if it's just in my ear instead of having big headphones over my head, or if I'm going to be doing something where I'm just exercising a lot. These are very good. I like using these a lot. When I'm at a photo shoot, wanting to just kind of take some tension off the environment, try and make everyone just feel a bit more comfortable. So this is the JBL Charge 5. My speaker that I have, it gets very loud and it sounds great. It's a very good way to just kind of bond with, the person that you might be taking photos of, especially in my case where I do, in some cases modeling photography. So I tend to just let the client know, okay, so if you have any music preference, let me know. If you have a playlist, just send it to me, and then we can just jam to whatever music we want to. This kind of gives me a kind of a vibe and an insight into the person as well before I've even started, the shoot itself. So when it comes to the devices I actually use for editing / getting creative ideas for things, I have two different Apple products that help me with that, and that's the MacBook Pro 16 as well as the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. I've got a power bank. I've got some batteries in here. So these are my camera batteries that are more like, specifically shaped and all of this. So I've got all these different accessories. I have I have filters, lots of different lens filters, and then I've also got this light is by Aperture. It's just a light that comes on like this, can change the lighting in this room, change the lighting on my face. It's very nice. And then there's a flash, mainly for weddings. I use this. I don't really use it for anything else. I've also got these for storage. So that includes LaCie hard drive, SSD for editing things straight off the drive, everything that I transfer onto this. And then finally, more SD cards all organized in this little pouch here, and just has them all like in different separated areas so that I can just, pick up the cards when I want to. Okay, so that's been everything that's been in my camera bag. There's a lot of equipment that I've shown, and I feel as if for someone who's starting out, someone who's kind of getting just new into all this kind of stuff, wanting to start camera stuff, you don't need all the gear. Take it from me. You don't need everything. You won't use everything. You can't use everything. You can't take everything. So it's important to only have the essentials. So things that are just like, just around. So for me, I like using my phone sometimes I like using my camera. Thank you guys for everything as well. Thank you for watching this video to the end. It's probably been quite a long one, but I will leave links to things in the description as well. I'll catch you guys in the next video next week. See you in a bit.